guess what, everybody? It's time for our top 10 worst cards for sealed in Aether Revolt.
That's right. Not every pack can be golden, and not every rare can be golden, even though that little symbol will be gold.
They're gold.
Or some of these are mythics.
Oh, so this is only rares and mythics.
Yes, so we're only naming the 10 worst rares or mythic rares to open at your Aether Revolt pre-release.
Yeah, so these are the cards that you open as your promo, and you're just
like,
wanna cry.
Why? You're gonna get them and it's like, do you know what? You're gonna have to build a deck with some creativity because your rares are not gonna build it for you.
Okay, Megan, what's starting us out at number, where do you want to start? 1 and go to 10, or 10 and go to 1?
Let's just go 1 to 10 because I didn't put these in order from like worst to most worst. I didn't do that. Number 1, Indomitable creativity. Indomitable?
I say Indomitable, but...
You know we can't trust me.
How about abominable creativity?
Yes, because that is what this card is. So this card is X red, red, red. And you get to... let's see, so it's X red, red, red. It's a sorcery in a mythic rare.
Wow.
It says destroy
Better
X...
be good.
Yeah. Wow. Destroy X target artifacts and or creatures. That sounds pretty great, right? You're giving me like a destroy X spell. For each permanent destroyed this way, its controller reveals cards from the top of his or her library until an artifact or creature card is revealed and exiles that card. Those players put the exiled cards onto the battlefield, then shuffle their library.
So they just get new ones? Is that what you're telling me?
Yep, they just get new stuff.
But Megan, they could get worse cards.
Yeah, but you sure did spend a card giving them a worse card. And maybe you're thinking, hey, but I could target my own stuff. What? And get a random thing?
Yeah, maybe my cards all suck so bad that I just want to get whatever's on the top of my deck.
Yeah, so what you're telling me is that you already have a creature on the board that you're like, nothing can be worse than this?
Yeah.
Maria, I have bad news.
What?
You're already losing that match.
Oh, you're right.
You're already
You're so right.
losing that match.
You know, this card looks big and splashy, and the art is actually really cool.
Great. The art is super cool.
So it's a shame that this card, Indomitable Creativity, has to go on our list of poopy poopy stinker cards.
In sealed.
In sealed, yes.
All right, Maria, what's up next?
Secret salvage.
Secret salvage?
This is what I used to do in college. Back then, we called it dumpster diving.
Okay, do you want to hear something?
What?
I literally dumpster dive in college.
It's not surprising to me.
Thank you. I'll take that as a compliment.
So, Secret Salvage, let's read it.
Yes. So in Secret Salvage, it is 3 black.
Yes.
And it is a sorcery as well. And it allows you to pick a non-land card in your graveyard and then search your library for any number of cards with the same name as that card and put them into your hand.
What?
Yes. Then shuffle your library.
This is the setup cost of this card's pretty high.
Yes. So it says exile target non-land card from your graveyard. Search your library for any number of cards with the same name as that card. Reveal them and put them into your hand. Then shuffle your library.
But Megan, this draws me essentially 3 cards, maybe if I have a set,
Maria,
if I have a play set.
How did you end up with 4 of the same card in your sealed deck?
Look, I opened up 4 Torrential Gear Hulks. What can I say?
What witchcraft is this?
Yeah, in my sealed pools, it might almost be possible.
That's very true. So first of all, you have to have more than one copy of a very good card in your deck. Like a card that you would want to use this on.
Yeah.
Then you're going to have to both cast that card a first time, have it go to the graveyard.
Have it die somehow, or go to the graveyard.
A first time. And then you also have to you have to draw and cast Secret Salvage.
Huh.
No.
Seems doable.
Guess what? No.
It's terrible.
No.
This card literally made me throw up in my mouth a little bit.
I really hope that is not the case. If it is, I'm very worried.
Number 8 is a card that has kind of been getting a little bit of attention as far as constructed goes.
Do you know what?
What?
cool and constructed.
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, all day.
It's Baral, Chief of Compliance.
That's right. For 1 and a blue, he is a legendary creature, human wizard. He's a 1/3 that says instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Sweet. Whenever a spell or ability you control counters a spell, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card.
What? So I get a body that's pretty accurately costed. My instant and sorcery spells cost 1 less, and I get to loot?
Maria, are you really excited about this 1/3 for 2?
No.
Because do you know what, you guys? Most of the time, that's what Baral is.
Yep.
So if you think about it, a lot of sealed decks, you're going to have between 13 and 17 creatures in your deck.
Sure.
So you might maximum have something like 10 non-creature spells.
Yeah,
and do you know
that's
what?
a lot.
That's a lot. And if you hit 10, awesome. And it's not even non-creatures. This is instants and sorceries. So it doesn't give you a discount on your artifacts.
No.
Or anything. So now we're looking at like maximum 6 or 7. And this guy is just... Maria, he's a 1/3 for 2.
He's a 1/3 for 2.
It's pretty.
I mean, you can play him, I think, and occasionally you might like get a little discount or something. But
yeah, do you know what? You're gonna get a little bonus. You'll probably, if you play this, you'll probably get 1 or 2 discounted instants or sorceries. But is that exciting enough for a rare?
no.
No, it's not. All right, Maria, hit us. What's up next?
Whir of Invention.
That's right. This sucker has got improvise, but that still does not make it good enough
No.
to be a great rare in your Aether Revolt sealed deck.
X, blue, 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 improvise. Search your library for an artifact card with converted mana cost X or less. Put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. But Megan, what if I have the Gear Hulk?
I don't, then Maria, maybe if you have an insane mythic rare artifact in your deck, maybe you're gonna play this so you have a second copy of it. But unless you've got something that is so good, it basically wins the game on the spot, keep this sucker out of your deck. First of all, blue, blue, blue.
Rough.
Second of all, you're adding a casting cost of 3.
Yeah.
To whatever you're looking to fetch out. So it's got to be really amazing. And I think otherwise, this card is just a little underwhelming.
All right. Up next, tell us how it is, Meghan.
Pia's Revolution.
But it's her revolution.
Yeah, I know. And this art is so awesome.
She is hitting something with a hammer.
Yep, it's 2 and a red for an enchantment that says whenever a non-token artifact is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, return that card to your hand unless target opponent has Pia's Revolution, deal 3 damage to him or her.
But what if I have a sick artifact deck?
If you have like...
I'm just gonna play devil's advocate this whole video.
If you have like 10 artifacts, okay.
Okay.
If you have like 10, but Maria,
What?
Like on turn 3, are you really gonna play this instead of some creature that's gonna develop your board?
Well, I have a dream, and that dream includes making this deck happen.
Not only that, but your opponent gets to choose every time.
Yeah.
So you're letting them make the decision about whether your artifact is good enough to save.
Yeah, this card is pretty underwhelming. You would rather just have a good card.
Exactly.
I think.
I would rather just have a good card.
Unless like every card in your deck is an artifact, then I guess it's fine.
Riparian Tiger would rather have it.
That should always be
That's just our baseline of like, would I rather have a Riparian Tiger in my deck?
Next up on our list is Planar Bridge.
What? Just use some card draw like the rest of it, the suckers out there, because do you know what? 6 mana to, again, do nothing when it comes into play. And then 8 mana?
Yeah,
8
so
mana.
you can pay 8 and tap this to search your library for a permanent, put it onto the battlefield, and shuffle your library. But Megan, I can do it a whole bunch of times. I can keep
but do you know
doing
what?
it.
That's all you're gonna do for your turn every time. Sure. Do you know what? You could get to 8 mana and be casting your best card every turn.
But at 8 mana, you probably
what
already
is, exactly
have
what
it.
is left in your deck. Maybe you get 1 activation. I would rather have a Riparian Tiger.
Yeah, so would I.
Because do you know what? Sometimes that would just be the card that I'd be searching out.
Yeah, it would. That's a good card. Solid card.
It's a really solid card. Paradox Engine.
Well,
5 mana, and sometimes you're gonna get to untap your stuff.
whenever you cast a spell, untap all non-land permanents you control.
5 mana.
So I just cast a spell and then I untap all my lands and...
No, non-lands. Not your lands.
Oh.
No,
so
not your lands.
Basically gives my creatures vigilance? Is that what's happening?
Basically it gives your creatures vigilance as long as you drew a spell for the turn and you cast it.
Yeah, that's true.
As long as you could cast the spell. 5 mana, play a Riparian Tiger.
I don't know why it's called Paradox Engine.
What?
I just think that's a very strange name for this card. I would call it like Army at the Ready or something.
What? Well, no, because people might use this in constructed formats to do
like
some
improvise
insane
or something.
Well, or just like, I'm trying to think of like what are some. There's like, other good artifacts that make mana.
Yeah.
Like imagine if you had this in, this is 5 mana is probably too much for the vintage cube, but imagine you had a bunch of whatchamadoodles. Come on. Signets. And then you had this. That situation, it's great, right? Because you're going to untap all those signets every time.
Okay.
Or maybe you're, who knows? Something like that. But in this, no.
All right, Heroic Intervention is up next, aka Johnny throwing some wings on something.
That's right. 1 and a green for an instant. Permanents you control gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn.
But Megan, what if I want to save all my stuff?
I know, this could be controversial, but hear me out on this one.
Okay, go ahead.
A lot of times in combat, when you're right, like there's very few combats where this is going to swing more than one fight. Like a lot of combats are just come down to one creature, like one creature facing off against 2 blockers.
Yeah.
Or maybe like one pair of creatures bouncing off of each other and one where your opponent's creature eats yours or they would trade or something like that. So at most, you're going to probably get 1 card saved. And say that like the power and toughness doesn't match up great, like you're going to have to literally already be in a situation where you were going to trade with that person because it doesn't grant any power to it. So honestly, in that situation, I would rather just have like a Riparian Tiger, or like a Rush of Vitality. I would rather have Rush of Vitality in my deck, than this card because it's going to give me lifelink, it's going to give indestructible, and it's going to give me, most importantly, that +1. So it's actually going to swing combat in my favor, as opposed to just turning this, which is like, well, if it was gonna die now, it's not going to, but that's about it. It's not going to get any boost.
I mean, people think of this and they think of setting up some crazy multi-blocker scenario where you have a ton of creatures and they're attacking, you block a lot of them, and you get a lot of like double blocks maybe.
Yeah. Sure, that's a good situation. If this turns out to be a format of like giant board stalls, or something like that, like very convoluted combat math, I might be wrong about this. But honestly, right now, I would rather just have Rush of Vitality. I'm not saying it's a bad card, but for a rare, boo.
All right, next up we have Hope of Ghirapur, and it's really not, is it?
1 mana for a 1/1 legendary artifact creature, Thopter. Flying, sacrifice Hope of Ghirapur until your next turn. Target player who is dealt combat damage by Hope of Ghirapur this turn can't cast non-creature spells.
So the idea is you hit somebody with this and then they try and play a card that kills one of your dudes and you say, nope, 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 sacrifice it.
Yeah, except you have to sacrifice it on your turn.
So it would have to be an instant.
Yes. Well, no. Like, exactly. If they could cast an instant in response to you sacrificing this. But for instance, you can't do this on their turn.
No.
Because it says dealt damage this turn by Hope of Ghirapur.
That's so weird.
I don't understand what's going on.
I would be so mad if this is my pro.
A lot of time in Sealed, what you want to be casting is a creature anyways, and this doesn't stop them from casting those.
No.
Like, maybe they have an insane artifact that wasn't a creature. Maybe you're gonna stop them from casting a Paradox Engine that turn. Guess what? You should just let them cast it.
Just let them cast it.
Yeah.
Up next is Inspiring Statuary.
Inspiring Statuary.
Not very inspiring.
No, Maria, tell us about it.
It's an artifact, 3 generic mana. Non-artifact spells you cast have Improvise.
Okay, do you know what? It is gonna make some stuff cheaper sometimes.
Yeah, it is.
You still spent turn 3 casting this. And do you know what's cool? This can tap, right?
Yeah, it can be used for Improvise.
You can use this for Improvise. I'll give it that. So like, in a way, it's saying they get Improvise, and I'm already giving you 1 artifact. But like, you're going to have to cast other artifacts
in order to cast your non-artifacts with Improvise.
Exactly.
Yeah, interesting. I'm actually kind of intrigued by this card. I don't think it's great.
I might be wrong.
But
I might be wrong about this one.
I would be interested to see
but I don't think it's great. Like in terms of rares, if I opened this, I would be disappointed.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not going to impact the board the turn that it comes into play. It needs other cards to synergize with it, and even after that, what you're getting is a slight decrease in cost.
The next card is one that is more than 10. Our list is more than 10.
That's right. Our list is more than 10. This is a bonus card.
Disallow.
That's right. 1 blue for an instant counter target spell, activated ability, or triggered ability.
But Megan, this is better than cancel.
I know, and I love counter spells, you guys. But do you know what? If you're opening a counter spell, you want it to at least be uncommon. I'm not saying that it's a terrible card. I'm just saying that for a rare in your sealed pool, you're gonna be disappointed if you open it. Maybe you'll play it sometimes, but a lot of the time you're gonna be like, meh.
Really weird. The first time somebody counters an activated or a triggered ability
That's gonna be weird.
I'm gonna be like, what?
No, it's gonna be weird.
Is my life right now?
Yeah, you'll be confused.
I'll be so confused.
The time you open a sick planeswalker and you try and activate its ability and they cast this. And you're gonna be like, this one time I didn't get to activate my planeswalker.
I guess.
Okay.
Some triggered ability randomly. They're like, disallow. And I'm like, okay.
All right. Strange, but okay.
Why don't you just counter the spell? Anyway.
Well, everybody.
That's our list.
Those are our list of top 11 cards you don't, or rare cards you don't want to open in your Aether Revolt sealed pools, because they're just kind of bummer rares for building a sweet sealed deck.
So here's to having a better sealed pool than anything that we mentioned on this video.
Yep.
Leave in the comments if you have your own worst cards that you don't want to open, and let us know what you think. But yeah, here's to better luck. So good luck, high five out there at your pre-release, and don't open any of these bad boys.